Hello, everyone. So this part starts exactly at the moment when Wooju's grandfather is about to attack Hyunjin. But suddenly, he stops and starts explaining himself. He says, I have a right here too. After all, this is my son's house. This is his room. Even if I take something from here, what's the big deal? Family members are supposed to help each other. But Hyunjin gets really angry. She says, so this is your real face. You came here to steal, and now you're also trying to claim the insurance money that belongs to Wooju. Grandfather shamelessly replies, if you want to share, you can take it too. Wooju can take a share as well. We'll divide it into 4 parts. Talking about dividing money like it's some pizza order. Hyunjin tries to snatch the items back from him, but that makes him furious. He suddenly attacks her. Hyunjin gets injured during the struggle, and just as he's about to attack again, Tae-young enters the house. He immediately steps in front of Hyunjin like a shield and ends up getting injured himself while protecting her. Here, I request you to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you. In the next scene, Tae-young takes his father to the police station to get him arrested. Since the man already has a criminal record, the police arrest him immediately. They reveal that he has been involved in multiple fraud cases. Hearing all this, Tae-young feels deeply ashamed, but more than himself, he's worried about Hyunjin because she got hurt because of all this. Hyunjin is getting her hand bandaged. The injury isn't super serious, but she still had to take urgent leave from work that day. Meanwhile, at the office, everyone is confused. Yoon-song starts thinking about it too. Hyunjin suddenly took leave, and on the other side, Tae-young also refused to attend a meeting that he was supposed to join. Something clearly happened. At the police station, Tae-young meets one of his late brother's friends. The man introduces himself and says he attended his brother's funeral as well. He says, there are some things your brother hid from you. I've been wondering for a long time whether I should tell you or not, but today I finally gathered the courage. When he tells the story, Tae-young learns the truth. His brother didn't abandon him because he was a burden. He left him in the orphanage to protect him from his father. Their father used to commit fraud and create trouble, and the home environment was never safe. Tae-young's brother was older, so he always protected him and handled everything himself. Eventually, he decided the safest place for Tae-young was the orphanage, where he could at least live peacefully. His brother even tried reporting their father several times and collected small pieces of evidence against him, hoping one day the truth would come out. The friend shows Tae-young some old files his brother had kept. In them are records and photos proving how much responsibility his brother had taken on his shoulders. Seeing all this, Tae-young finally realizes that his brother was never wrong. Even after they grew up, his brother kept his distance because their father would sometimes show up asking for money or causing trouble. He didn't want Tae-young's life to be affected. Now, when Tae-young sees everything clearly, he feels terrible. His brother carried everything alone, just so Tae-young could live a peaceful life. For the first time, Tae-young goes to his brother's room. The place is full of scattered belongings, and there he discovers something that completely breaks his heart. His brother had kept every photo of Tae-young carefully in albums. Not only that, when Tae-young grew up and became a photographer, his brother collected every single achievement of his and preserved it proudly in the album. So basically, the man Tae-young thought had abandoned him had actually been his biggest supporter all along. Meanwhile, when Hyunjin returns home, she wants to talk to Tae-young, but the moment she sees him, she realizes he feels extremely ashamed, so ashamed that he can't even look her in the eyes. He speaks briefly and then leaves the house, saying he wants to be alone. On one side, he feels guilty because Hyunjin got hurt because of him. On the other side, he feels even worse because he misunderstood his brother for so many years, and now that he finally knows the truth, his brother is no longer alive. That night, he drinks heavily with a close friend, someone he can share his feelings with. He also confesses something painful. He had secretly attended his brother's wedding once, but instead of wishing him happiness, he had cursed him in his heart, wishing he would never be happy. Now, remembering that moment makes him feel even more ashamed. He never even got the chance to say sorry. After that, Taeyoung starts keeping himself extremely busy with work. He tries to finish 2 or 3 days worth of work in just one day. Even Amy Chu's husband is surprised and says, "You learned everything so quickly. Looks like I'll have to leave Amy's company soon. My excuse for staying here is about to end." Meanwhile, at Hyunjin's office, there's a celebration happening. The official notice has arrived. Hyunjin has finally become a permanent employee. Everyone is eating cake and celebrating. Someone notices that Hyunjin really likes this cake. She says, "This has always been my favorite." Then the colleagues start thinking, why did Yoon-sung make everyone stand in line earlier just to buy cake from this exact bakery? They also studied in the same college. So now everyone is like, wait a minute, something interesting is going on here. But during the celebration, a colleague accidentally touches Hyunjin's arm and she suddenly cries out in pain. That's when Yoon-sung realizes she has an injury on her hand. She had been hiding it under full sleeves for several days. Later, Hyunjin is sitting with her best friend, Baek. She tells her that lately, Taeyoung has been acting very distant. He comes home late and barely talks to her. Baek says, "You guys are basically a family raising Wooju together. If he's feeling ashamed right now, you should be the one to step forward and talk openly." Meanwhile, Yoon-sung approaches Baek and asks about Hyunjin's injury. Hyunjin had told him it was just a family matter, but he feels something isn't right. At first, Baek doesn't want to say anything, but in the end, she tells him everything. When the neighbors also hear about the incident, they are shocked. That man had looked so polite and respectable. No one realized his real nature. Everyone also feels sorry for Taeyoung. Lately, he looks extremely lost and has even lost a lot of weight. That evening, Hyunjin cooks dinner and asks Taeyoung to sit with her. She says gently, "We're family, right? We're raising Wooju together. You can tell me anything." But Taeyoung still remains reluctant. He looks so ashamed that he can't even look into her eyes. Even on holidays, he stays away from home most of the time. Poor Hyunjin has to take care of Wooju alone, and Wooju clearly misses his uncle. Just then, Yoon-sung arrives. He helps Hyunjin take care of Wooju, and when she sees his chef-level cooking skills in real life, she's genuinely surprised. The three of them play with Wooju, take him to the park, and spend a nice time together. At the end of the day, Yoon-sung finally reveals something he never told Hyunjin before. He says he also grew up in an orphanage. Taking care of younger children there used to be his responsibility, which is why he's so good at handling babies. Later, a rich and caring family adopted him, and he became their only son. After that, he worked hard and achieved everything in life. Before coming to meet Hyunjin that day, Yoon-sung had met Taeyoung and said something very serious to him. He told him, "Because of you, Hyunjin got injured. This is already the second time she's been in danger. Do you even realize whether you are protecting her or becoming a burden in her life? If you stay close to her, I'm afraid she'll keep getting hurt." Then he added, "If you really care about her, you should distance yourself from her." And maybe that is the exact reason why when Hyunjin had prepared dinner and tried to talk to Taeyoung earlier, he didn't try to explain anything to her. After that, Taeyoung goes to the jail to meet his father. The moment he sees him, he gives him a very clear warning. He says, "After you get out of here, don't ever show me your face again. And if I even hear that you went anywhere near Hyunjin or Wooju, I will kill you." But his father still behaves the same way as before. Instead of feeling ashamed, he scoffs and says, "What kind of times have come? A son talking like this to his own father." After that, Taeyoung goes to his brother's memorial. Standing there quietly, he says, "I'm sorry. You took care of me so much that I don't even have words to express it. I misunderstood you all these years. I just want to say sorry." And after that moment, Taeyoung makes a painful decision. He decides that he will leave Hyunjin and Wooju's lives because Yeonsung had convinced him that instead of being a support for them, he might actually become a danger for them. So he believes the best thing he can do is distance himself. One day, he tells Hyunjin, "I'm moving out today. I had said I'd stay for 1 month, but I already stayed longer than that." Hyunjin is shocked and hurt. She says, "But we're family, right? We were raising Wooju together." But Taeyoung replies bitterly, "Family? Do you know what family means to me? My father raised me and then abandoned me. Later, he came back only to rob us and harm the people around me." He even deliberately says a few harsh words to Hyunjin so that she would feel hurt and not try to stop him. After leaving, he returns to his own apartment. This was once his dream home, but now it feels completely empty. Instead of happiness, all he feels is loneliness. The person he misses the most is Wooju. Before leaving, he had secretly spoken to Wooju alone and said, "I'm not abandoning you. I'll still come to see you. We'll go on fun trips together. I'll always visit you. We're friends forever, and I'm your uncle. Don't forget that." Meanwhile, at BS Food Company, the team is traveling far away for a photo shoot. During the journey, the other colleagues fall asleep in the car. Hyunjin is also feeling sleepy, so Yeonsung gives her a candy to help her stay awake. He even feeds it to her himself. Unfortunately for them, one half-awake colleague sees this moment and immediately starts imagining things like, "Wow, these two are definitely a couple." And, of course, the photo shoot is being handled by Amy Chu's company, where the main photographer is none other than Taeyoung. When Taeyoung arrives there and sees Yeonsung and Hyunjin standing together, they genuinely look good together. Even the colleagues start gossiping, saying, "Looks like these two are secretly dating, and honestly, who wouldn't want a perfect guy like Yeonsung?" By now, a huge emotional wall has formed between Taeyoung and Hyunjin. They barely even talk to each other. The photo shoot itself goes really well, but suddenly a small accident happens. Hyunjin is about to get injured, and two men rush forward to save her, but Yeonsung reaches first, takes the hit himself, and protects her. Later, everyone keeps praising Yeonsung, saying how well he protected her. Some even say, "Hyunjin is so lucky to have a boyfriend like him." Hearing all this, Taeyoung quietly steps aside, feeling even more miserable. Then something funny happens. Taeyoung's colleague and Yeonsung's colleague start arguing. One insists Hyunjin looks better with Taeyoung. The other says, "No way, Yeonsung suits her better." In the end, the manager wins the argument and says confidently, "You've been single all your life. I'm married. Married people know which couples have real chemistry." A few days later, there's a small event at Wooju's daycare where both parents are supposed to attend. Since Taeyoung had always been acting like Wooju's second guardian, his name was also written there. Hyunjin thinks about inviting him, but then she gives up. His memories still hurt her too much. When she arrives at the event, she realizes it's actually a big celebration. Other kids have both parents, some even have grandparents there. They brought big bouquets and flashy gifts. But poor Wooju is standing there with just his aunt Hyunjin and a small bouquet. He looks a little lonely. Hyunjin feels really bad for him. At one point, Wooju suddenly runs forward excitedly. Someone had come to attend the event especially for him, and that person is Yeonsung, who arrives right on time. Now, this becomes a very crucial moment in the story, because right now, it's still unclear who Hyunjin will end up with. Now, Yeonsung had arrived at the daycare function to support Hyunjin and cheer for Wooju. He actually found out about this event through Hyunjin's best friend, Baek. But Yeonsung wasn't the only one who came there. Someone else had also arrived, and that was Taeyoung. However, the moment Taeyoung saw Hyunjin and Yeonsung sitting together and looking happy, he felt like he would just become a third wheel. And let's be honest, nobody enjoys being the extra chair at someone else's dinner table, so he quietly turned around and left without letting anyone notice. Well, almost no one, because Yeonsung did see him leaving, but he deliberately chose not to tell Hyunjin about it. Taeyoung already believed that Yeonsung was a better person and that Hyunjin would be happier with him. And to be fair, Yeonsung really was a very nice guy. He took great care of Hyunjin and Wooju. It almost felt like he was slowly replacing Taeyoung in their little family picture. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see Amy Chu's husband, Moo-sung. Today, he looked extremely sad because their divorce papers had finally been completed and he had signed them. Earlier, they used to talk about divorce casually, but actually signing those papers made it feel painfully real. After the daycare event, Yeon-sung even took Hyunjin and Wooju out for dinner. Wooju was happily enjoying the food, while Hyunjin once again thanked Yeon-sung. She told him she would never forget his kindness. But Yeon-sung replied, "Whenever you talk about repaying favors, it makes me feel like you're treating me like a stranger." While the three of them were sitting together and having dinner, someone else nearby was trying to deal with a broken heart. That person was Moo-sung. He was packing up his things at Amy Chu's office for the last time before leaving. It was clearly very emotional for him. Seeing this, Taeyoung said to him, "I think you still love Amy very much." Moo-sung replied sadly, "But what difference does it make? I've already signed the papers, and it feels like Amy doesn't like me anymore. Even if I disappear from her life, it probably won't matter to her." The next day, he came to the office again, waiting for Amy. When she arrived, he told her, "I'm leaving now. This will be the last time we see each other." He said goodbye and held out his hand for a handshake, but the moment Amy shook his hand, it suddenly felt like he had lost something extremely precious. Whether she liked it or not, he had become such a big part of her daily life that without him, things would never feel the same. Meanwhile, another small problem happened with Wooju. The grandmother who was supposed to pick him up from daycare suddenly got sick. She tried calling Hyunjin many times, but Hyunjin was stuck in a meeting and couldn't answer. So in the end, Taeyoung went to pick up Wooju. It had been many days since he last saw him, so he was extremely happy. He took Wooju to a bookstore, bought him toys and books, and then brought him to his apartment. And surprisingly, Wooju loved the place. The apartment was neat, clean, and filled with interesting little items. He couldn't stop exploring everything. And honestly, Taeyoung also felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Like the emptiness in his apartment had finally disappeared. He even read Wooju a storybook and took great care of him. Later, when Hyunjin finally called, Taeyoung took Wooju back home. After many days, Hyunjin and Taeyoung met again. They exchanged a simple hello. Taeyoung then mentioned that Wooju's grandmother had been suffering from back pain lately, so maybe he could start picking up Wooju from daycare regularly. Hyunjin agreed. Before leaving earlier, Taeyoung had taken all his belongings with him, but he had left behind one small thing, that cute lamp which had actually been the reason Hyunjin and Taeyoung met for the first time. And Hyunjin liked that lamp a lot. Meanwhile, Wooju had loved Taeyoung's apartment, but some decorative items there could actually be dangerous for a child. And now, for Taeyoung, Wooju had become more important than his own preferences, so he decided to replace those decorations with things Wooju would like. Looks like someone had officially entered Uncle Mode level 100. Next day, Hyunjin was running late while taking Wooju to daycare. When she stepped outside, she saw Yeon-sung waiting there. He offered to give her a ride so she wouldn't be late for work. He told her, "I just want to help you. If I wake up a little earlier and leave for the office sooner, it's not a big deal." But Hyunjin felt uncomfortable. She felt like she was piling up too many favors from him and didn't know how she would ever repay them. Meanwhile, Taeyoung had another thought. Since Moo-sung was leaving soon, he wanted to give him a farewell gift, so he went to ask Amy what he liked. But the moment Amy heard this, she immediately sent him out of the room. Still, before leaving, Taeyoung told her that Moo-sung's flight to the USA was on the 13th in the evening, and once he left, he probably wouldn't return. Amy pretended like it didn't matter at all, but deep down, she felt extremely lonely. Moo-sung had always cared for Amy quietly, without making a show of it. Everything she needed would magically appear on her desk, from her schedule to reminders about what she liked to eat, to even notes about her allergies. He had even written all those details down for the other assistants. When Amy read those notes, she realized something shocking. Musung knew her even better than she knew herself. Meanwhile, BS Food Company had achieved huge success with their newly launched product. Because of this success, they decided to publish an interview in their in-house magazine. And for this interview, they invited Taeyoung because his photography had played a big role in making the product go viral on social media even before the official launch. During the interview, Taeyoung talked about how he started photography. He also mentioned his brother. He admitted that there was a time when he had completely given up photography. But then, a certain special person encouraged him to try again. And if that person hadn't advised him, he might have stayed far away from his passion forever. And that special person was none other than Hyunjin. Meanwhile, Hyunjin would often stay busy at work, while Taeyoung usually got off earlier, so he started picking up Wooju from daycare regularly. One day, when he dropped Wooju at his grandmother's house, he realized Wooju needed diapers that were still at Hyunjin's house, so Taeyoung went there to get them. But when he entered the house, he was shocked. The place was completely messy. Ever since Taeyoung had moved out, Hyunjin's life had become extremely difficult. Seeing the house like that made him feel worried. He wondered how she was managing everything alone. But when she finally reached home, everything was already clean and perfectly organized. And not only that, Taeyoung had even cooked dinner for her. He left a message saying, "I worry about you. Please don't skip meals." Even though they were living separately now, whenever they ate alone, they couldn't help remembering the time when the three of them used to sit at the same table like a family. And because of those memories, sometimes they didn't even feel like eating at all.
Well, now, Taeyoung had slowly started giving Wooju even more importance than before. Whenever he went shopping, instead of buying things for himself, he first bought clothes and toys for Wooju. Once, one of his friends even offered to gift him a beautiful glass furniture piece, but Taeyoung immediately refused. He said no, not at all. This could be dangerous for a child. His friends were shocked. The moment they entered his apartment, it didn't even look like Taeyoung's place anymore. It looked like Wooju's apartment. Every corner had things chosen while keeping Wooju in mind. Safe, colorful, and interesting for a kid. Hyunjin was sharing something with her best friend Baek. She said she didn't know how she could ever repay all the favors Yunsung had done for her. The more he helped and cared for her, the heavier she felt inside. Baek immediately understood the real issue and said, "If you truly loved him, you wouldn't feel like you had to repay him. You would simply return his feelings with love. But the reason you feel burdened is because deep down, you know you don't love Yunsung." And honestly, that was the truth. The next day, Hyunjin was supposed to go on her third and final date with Yunsung, after which she would decide what she truly felt for him. Meanwhile, something else was happening at Taeyoung's office. One of Hyunjin's colleagues came there, and Taeyoung also arrived to collect some documents. While talking on the phone, Taeyoung mentioned that Musung would be leaving for the USA that evening and that he would go to the airport. But the colleague misunderstood and thought Taeyoung himself was leaving the country forever. And just like that, the perfect recipe for a misunderstanding was ready. At the same time, Yunsung took Hyunjin to the orphanage where he had grown up. He still cared deeply for the children there. Honestly, Yunsung seemed like the definition of a perfect man. Caring, kind, loving, and handsome. But even with all those qualities, Hyunjin's heart still beat only for Taeyoung. Meanwhile, Taeyoung reached Amy Chu's office and noticed that Amy had been drinking. After all, Musung's flight was that evening and she couldn't face the reality of him leaving. There was an awkward distance that had built up over the years. Taeyoung realized that if no one broke that wall now, they might regret it forever. So he told Amy, "Fix your makeup and come with me right now. I'll drive you to the airport. Otherwise, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Go and stop him." Meanwhile, at the orphanage, Hyunjin saw a child waiting for someone. That scene reminded her of Taeyoung, how he used to wait for his brother when he was little. Just then, that same colleague called her about a document and casually mentioned, "By the way, Taeyoung is leaving for the USA tonight." Hearing this, Hyunjin panicked. Taeyong leaving forever without even saying goodbye? She couldn't accept that. At that moment, it started raining. Yunsung was about to take her inside, but Hyunjin finally made her decision. She let go of Yunsung's hand, apologized to him, and ran away. Poor Yunsung just stood there in the rain, quietly watching her go. Deep down, he already understood where she was heading. Soon, Hyunjin reached the airport. There she saw Taeyong standing with a lot of luggage beside him, because he was actually there to drop off Musung, but Hyunjin misunderstood the situation. Before Taeyong could explain anything, she rushed to him and stopped him. "Please don't go," she said desperately. Taeyong tried to speak, but she continued, "Please don't refuse me. Don't push me away. I love you. Whenever I eat or go home, I see you everywhere." Taeyong tried to say something again, but before he could, Hyunjin suddenly kissed him. She said, "Please don't reject me. Don't leave me." This time, Taeyong kissed her back and said with a small smile, "Will you let me speak now? I'm going nowhere. I could never leave you and Uju." And with that, this emotional roller coaster of a part finally ended. Now, Taeyong and Hyunjin have officially become a couple. But the story is far from over. In the upcoming part, the most important person in their lives, Uju, will suddenly go missing. Will they be able to find him? To see what happens next, stay connected. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.